Right, welcome to the Bear Tiger Pod, episode 3. It's an exciting week, the Open Championship. Make a few little intros. Josh White.
Yo, back.
TC Big Nige.
Good morning.
And JS NFT.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Let's just have a quick one. Nigel, how'd your week be on Twitter? That's what we all want to know about.
It started off strong and then it faded towards when the golf started playing. I think I'm up to 43 followers now, so well away from having to fork out money for a digital funk token.
Token.
And I think I'm up to like 45 posts, so it's roughly a post per follower.
I like that. That's a good metric.
Yeah,
nice. That's good.
You've got 20,000 followers. You've been busy. Sore thumbs.
Definitely haven't done 20,000 tweets. Oh, maybe. I'm not
Maybe
too
they're
sure.
more interesting than mine.
I think mine are followers. Yours are fans.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's the difference there.
Well, you've got golf fans. I've got NFT fans. While I'm posting golf posts, I get very little interaction.
We'll make that happen. We'll change that. I think this is going to be a big week for you.
You're starting your round slowly. It's nice. Build into the birdies.
You've been following me, haven't you, boys?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've all got our notifications on. It's good.
What's your favourite Big Nige tweet? Can you remember any of them?
Oh, I think I actually sent one to Zane. We screenshotted one when we was cracking up.
Screenshot a few. Don't worry about that.
What?
Most of them, to be honest.
A lot of my replies I send to Zane just to check it's allowed.
Yeah. It's definitely allowed. Definitely allowed.
So a bit like the Scottish Open, no one can remember anything.
Right, so talking of the Scottish Open, let's do our Pga Tour Roundup.
No, the best one. The best one was solid advice for all you young fathers out there to pass on. And judging by the nice house, rosé, laptop, etc., this gentleman must be a very pleasant person.
Yeah, I saw that
To
one.
that Scottish banter teacher, young boys. That was insane, ban. Anyway,
Right, so thanks for your tweets this past week, Nigel. We're all absolutely ecstatic about those. They're all good fun. So onto the PGA Tour Roundup for this week. We had 2 PGA Tour events this week, and DP World Tour, should I say. I think actually it was quite exciting to see how the new strategic alliance had kind of come together, and we actually got to see all those good players on a links course in Scotland. And
Yeah.
I thought that was it was kind of the first time we've kind of seen that coming together with 2 tours, where we had half and half, and then we obviously had the Barbasol, which wasn't quite as interesting to watch because all the marquee players were over in Scotland, but still it was quite interesting for quite a few of the DP World players who have never played a PGA Tour event to get to go to America and experience that. So it's been a good week. Xander Schauffele was the eventual winner. Who watched it? Did anybody watch it?
Yeah.
Watched it.
I watched about 3 holes.
I've got a good stat for you. Rapid fire round. Out of the top 15 players ranked in the world, how many of them were in Scotland at the weekend? Go. Come on.
6.
14.
10.
Zane takes the money. 14. Only one player missing.
Who was that one
Who
player?
was it?
Oh, my.
Please, sir. I know.
Go on.
Put us out of our misery.
It's Rory.
Yeah. Well, he technically was in Scotland.
No, it doesn't work. He's not playing a tournament.
So I thought you've never had a Scottish Open with a field like that before. Top 15 players, 14 of them there.
Yeah, that
and then
was brilliant.
Rory, which is a bit of a shame he wasn't there, really.
Yeah, he did kind of need a break, to be fair to him. But then, yeah,
Well, him and
brilliant.
Tiger were ripping it up in Ballybunion. But I'd like to hear what stories were going on there down in the evening.
Tearing it up. Yeah, that's where it's really at.
Tiger's still limping from it, evidently.
But great though, and it's a national open as well, which is great because a lot of the national opens don't quite get the credit they need to, and hopefully this is going to be a real continuation going forward. I thought that was, and it was really good, and Renaissance played really well.
Yeah.
-7.
You've
win.
played there, haven't you?
I've been there. I've looked at it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looked open. Looked
Not
easy.
quite the same, I don't think.
It looked easy. I thought I'm not going to bother with
Is
that.
it a bit like a
Went
hill?
next door to Archfield.
No, I've played there a couple of times. Not shot well. But that's every golf.
But you
course
and the
I've
other
played.
PGA Tour players all struggled a bit. The wind got up, because it's not that hard a links course, right? Normally,
No, I mean, and I think that was noticeable. I think the rounds in the morning generally scored a lot better than rounds in the afternoon. There was a few stats floating around on Twitter, which I can't recall now. But, it was, if you had a morning tee time, you were more likely to be under par by the end of the round.
27 people were under par on the first day who teed off in the morning, and
That's right.
no one was under par in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's that wind. It's the wind on the links, which is what it's all about.
I think it's quite good but they played a pretty notable one there when Noren won, and it was absolutely soaking wet. You saw how green it was and wispy, and And then to see it sort of burnt out a bit like a traditional links course in the sun was great as well, just to see it in all its colour.
Yeah, see it really running out. It's funny, actually, I'm going to get an early heads gone. I had some guy on Twitter saying that, this is outrageous, they're making it easy for the players. We're moving the tees up on the into the wind holes. I was like, it was the best field we've seen all year. It was a -7 win.
It wasn't easy.
But it's interesting. People just think that we should just batter everyone all the time.
Yeah.
I think get them back there. It doesn't matter if they can't reach the holes. That's what we want to see. Make a really entertaining product.
If they want to make millions, they better earn it.
I think only 19 people are under par. So
Yeah, it's madness.
Yeah. Anyway, I had to agree to disagree. Didn't want to get into it.
You should have aatted him. What's his handle right now?
Yeah, let's get on him. I'll get him.
Go on, Nige.
I'll stalk him off.
Just see him off.
Is that possible?
Hopefully, we'll make him a friend.
So you
of the
watched
pod.
it, Zane? Then were you
Yeah,
commentating on it?
so I watched it. I wasn't commentating on it. I got to commentate on the Barbasol, which was fortunate for me. But I watched
Do you get paid if you're still asleep during that?
Yeah, well, actually, on the Saturday, we didn't even have to commentate. We got in, and I don't know if anyone saw the Barbasol, but it was absolutely sheeting it down with rain. The greens were puddled up, so we went on air, told everybody, look, it's raining. Came off, they did the replay. We sat there for 3 hours, and then the little French guy who produces from France said, right, guys, you can go home. And we just sat there having a little chat, eating candy kittens and drinking coffee. So that was my Saturday night's work, and got paid for it.
Well done.
Well, I haven't transferred it across yet. We'll see. But yeah, I thought Xander played really well on the last few holes, especially. A great couple of shots down 16, big putt on 17, and then afforded himself the luxury of going iron on the 18th to the front of the green and chipping up. 18th hole was an absolute beast.
Yeah.
There was no birdies in the last hole.
Wow.
That was, I mean, that was playing like 215, like second shot, wasn't it? If they'd bomb drive down to that bit where the fairway bottles, I remember watching that young lad, Kim. I'd not seen him play before. He was super impressive. And hit 2-iron into 18. But yeah, it played super long, didn't it?
Did he miss the putt?
He free putted, didn't he? Because he got it on the front. But good week.
That's a nice position to be in, though, isn't it? Being able to play them 2 irons into the last.
Yeah.
With a lead.
Take the risk out of it. So yeah, another great win. So actually third win now. Amazingly, still nowhere near Scotty Scheffler at the top of the FedEx Cup standings.
Is it 2? Because you don't like the doubles win.
I don't like it, but it's a win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is an official win. But yeah, taking some great form going into the Open Championship. Has he peaked early? We'll see.
Well, he was going. I thought at halfway street it was mad, wasn't it? I literally flicked the F1 on just for 10 minutes just to see what was going on because he was free clear, and I thought this would be a bit boring. And then all of a sudden he'd come back and he wasn't leading. He just had some massive head off at 6, and I think he'd started fairly steady, but again there was a bit of I think I tweeted about burning my roast potatoes watching him like chip on the 3rd or 4th hole, the first par 5. He just kept backing off this what looked like to what you guys would think would be a fairly standard like mid-flight chip. He just kept backing off it. I was thinking, fuck's sake, get on with it. But yeah, he found his composure, didn't he? And I think that's put him to number 5 in the world as well.
Yeah, he's really turned it on because had quite a bit of a barren patch, and then as soon as he did get that slightly soft win at the Pairs, he's really turned it on from that point. So he'll be full of confidence coming into this week's 150th
How old is he
Open Championship.
Mid-20s? He's not
20s. He's young, isn't he?
Yeah, number 5 in the world now.
That's good.
28.
Babyface assassin.
He's a really good player. I find it quite hard to get excited about watching him play.
Yeah, I get what you mean there. There is definitely something there. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I don't know. Is it he's not got much
great
flair?
golf swing. He hits it well. He was there at the Ryder Cup smoking cigars. Seems like a good guy.
He has way more speed as well than I thought. He was like low 180s in Scotland.
Do you think it's just because he's not really in the limelight too much, is he? Or with the socials and stuff like that, he's not getting pumped as much as the other players that we would see.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe it's that.
Could be because Nigel was chatting off air about Ricky Fowler on the Twitter about the good vibes, right? Now he's someone who's very much in the socials, and someone who's
got a big following,
quite similar. Zander's probably a better player.
Yeah.
Ricky, people get excited about.
Yeah.
On the flip side, on that though, someone who I think is really trending in the right direction, and he was very good this week, and he was really funny with Iona as well as Max Homer. Like he's a wicked personality.
Yeah, he's brilliant,
and he's like multiple wins this year. He sort of seems to be really someone who's coming through, Zed, right?
Yeah, Max is a great guy. I actually managed to, I shared a room with Max. We played the Porter Cup, and I shared a house with him and Phil Mickelson's brother, Tim Mickelson, and we had a great week. And he was full of banter. To be fair, normally like the Americans, they don't quite get the English banter, but he definitely got it. He was a good boy.
He's quite dry, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's a good follow on the Twitter, and he's quite vocal when he gets a chance. He's happy to speak up about things, which is really cool. Anyway, we're moving on to the 150th Open Championship. I'm done with the PGA Tour for this week. So this is what it's all about. Major Championship. For me, the best major. What's your favourite major, Josh?
Masters.
Nige?
It probably is the Masters, I think. For me, that's the start of the golf season. That's when I have to think, where are my clubs again? And I've got to pay my subs soon for the. Do I want to do it for another year?
Is that because we collect the most green cups, Nige, at the Masters?
Yeah, we're pretty good at it. And the beer's cheap there as well.
It is.
It is the non-branded.
And that sandwich. What is that sandwich?
Yeah, what is it?
It's unbelievable.
Pimento cheese.
Yeah, pimento cheese.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the Masters pips it, to be honest. But I grew up going to the Opens, living in Scotland, true on the west coast there, and I used to go to the Opens whenever I had the chance and just loved it, collecting the autographs. I was one of those geeks that used to hang out the press tent. But I think
just last year.
There's something about the Masters for me.
In a boiler suit.
James?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this before. A lot of the similar reasons. I love the Masters, I think, just because I'm in love with Augusta National, but and the azaleas and just all the allure that comes with it. And obviously 97 Masters were the very first thing that sort of turned me with golf. But the Open Championship is a very close second. So I'm extremely excited about this week.
Okay, so I'm the most excited. You guys are just behind that. All being your second choice. So we'll go a little bit off piece with this. They didn't invite Greg Norman back to the Open this year. What do we...
the only word for me is just petty. It's just...
Is he not just going to buy a ticket then?
It's just stupid, really. And I think they've issued another statement following the negative criticism they got from pretty much across the board around it, saying, look, they don't want the Live Tour distracting from the Open. But I don't think Greg would ever had that intention. I think he would have turned up and kept it very much aligned with its past champions, and that's what it's about. And we had the Scottish Open. I don't think Liv really got much of a discussion point. There was talk about the likes of Poulter, etc., going there, and I don't think Poulter was there very long, to be honest. But I didn't hear any stories or any, it didn't take over the coverage of the Scottish Open in any way.
It's funny you mention that though. Like, you can see some of the people who've got quite vocal defending the Live Tour, who've come back and played events. They've come back and it's clearly in their head because they're playing golf that looks not like it's just being out.
Talking about the players.
Yeah, like Poulter's come back and he's like 13 over for 2 rounds, where you think outside of match play golf, links golf's his next strongest asset. So you can tell it's definitely getting in their head a bit, all this toing and throwing and things like that. I think Westwood missed the cut by quite a stretch as well. Obviously, they could have been the wrong side of the draw, but
I think it was because they were hungover from that flight.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if you saw it.
Did you see
the live plane?
The live plane, yeah.
They tried to take that post down. I think there was a guy that originally posted it and it was getting thousands of views, and then it disappeared. And then it kept popping up under, obviously, the pro PGA side of things.
Yeah.
They were pushing it hard, just making sure everyone realised how excessive this whole Live Tour was. But watching DJ stroll around this, I mean, could you imagine? That bar was in a plane.
Yeah,
it looked massive.
That's why I would rather go and play the Live Tour. Just backed it up for me.
I don't think I'd be living very long if I was on the Live Tour, that's for sure.
no Liver Tour.
No Liver Tour.
No Live Tour.
Yeah, so it does seem a bit of a shame because Greg Norman's been quite a big part of the Open Championship for quite a long time, but hopefully this will kind of blow over at some point.
I don't think I've seen anyone
agree.
agree with that ruling, other than, a player or a past player in any way whatsoever. I think the only comments I've seen if they disagree with it, I think it's petty and it's a shame. And there was glimmer, I thought, at the beginning of the week when Rory came out with his statement around Liv regarding they need to get together and have a discussion about it because it was dividing golf. And I think that was finally someone saying it. He says obviously there is this issue about where the money's come, but it's not going to go away. We need to try and work out what's best for the game. So I think that didn't get as much coverage as it probably should, that comment. And it sort of drifted off a little bit. But it's a while before the next Live tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of time. And that's the funny thing, because there's not many events. So we're used to consuming golf, like, PGA Tour happens every week, DP World Tour happens every week, and there's a big gap between these ones. That's the other part. That's also a bit of a shame that there's a lot of players we don't get to see very often, because that's when we watch golf, we want to watch the Scottish Open fields almost every week. You don't want to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks in between. As much fun as it was watching some of the lesser European Tour players play in the Barbasol, the guys that we know. For everyone else, they don't know who Ricardo Gueva is or Scott Jameson necessarily. So yeah, hopefully, it'd be good to just get it all back going again, and let's just get, as a fan, you want to see the good players on the course as often as possible.
Yeah. Have you ever spent any time with Greg, Zane?
Not at all.
Not at all,
You know
no.
what? Actually, I watched him do a clinic in China when I'd first turned pro, and I was friends of an Aussie lad, and Nick Faldo was playing in this event in China. It was a European Tour event, and so was Greg Norman. So we got to play a practice round with Nick Faldo. He's my hero. I'd always banter back with my mate from Australia, Al, about who was a better golfer. Obviously, it was Nick. Yeah, and we watched Nick do a clinic, and he was brilliant, and he hit all the shots, and he was bang on, and he was engaging, and he was chatting away, and there was actually quite a lot of players there. Younger players were kind of taken over from this corporate clinic that was set for the sponsors, and a lot of the young players were in there asking Nick about how he did and what he did at different times during his career, and he was really good. And then Greg Norman did one the following day, and he just floated in, and he barely said hello, turned around and started hitting a few balls. He had a guy next to him who was trying to ask a few questions, but he just basically hit balls for a while and was a bit like, any questions? And everyone was a bit quiet, and he just, no, okay, yeah, this is how I spin it. I hit down it a bit more. And he hits wedge, and it goes off, and it obviously lands in the rough on the range. He goes, oh, that would have spun. And just had like a little warm up, and it was like a real like,
That would have spun.
this is rubbish, mate. What is going? Like, he didn't even try. Just kind of waltzed in, and then did like 20 minutes, and then when that's enough. Then and he went off. And it was a real kind of disappointing moment, really. And it was kind of showed up by the fact that Nick had done one the day before, and was so engaging. So that was a little 1-0 to the Brits when I was my pal Al. So yeah, that was my only real experience with Greg, to be honest. It was slightly disappointing because he's given us some amazing moments on the course over the years. But yeah, just a different character, isn't he?
I just thought because he's getting a bit of a bad time, isn't he? Really, but I don't know if he might actually be a really nice guy. But I didn't know if anyone actually.
He might be, but I don't think he doesn't really care. He's a real trailblazer.
Yeah.
He does what he wants to do. And he does it in his own manner.
No good at clinics.
And he's no good at clinics. He spins it though, apparently.
In the rough.
So, kind of moving it forward a bit back to the golf. What's everybody most looking forward to this week for the Open Championship? James, we'll start with
Tiger's
you.
return. Yeah, just Tiger playing, really. There's been some nice features on socials. Looks like he's moving pretty well. We had a couple of WhatsApps about it. I think he looks like he's moving better than he has done in the previous events leading into this. It's going to be a much more flatter walk. I think it's great that we've got the weather here because, we know all about injuries, and the warmer weather certainly helps manage them. So yeah, definitely on Tiger watch, I think, for a large part of it till we get into the business end on Sunday.
Yeah, I think there'll be loads of footage of Tiger, won't there, these first couple of days? Nigel?
Yeah, I mean, Tiger returning good. I'd love it if the Open Championship officials mic'd up Jordan Spieth for the entire 72 holes, which I'm sure he'll make the cut. He is entertainment. I loved a few clips that were out there this weekend with him on mic. He doesn't swear, which is a bonus. John Ram.
Tyrrell pattern. Him and Tyrrell in the same group.
And JT, actually. JT's good for a swear word.
But I really enjoyed watching him this weekend, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him at St Andrews, just talking about how he's hitting his shots. And that great clip when his caddy's advising him on the club to use for that 90-yard shot into the wind, and he hits it, and he's like, "It's not even going to get there," and it lands next to the pin, and the caddy's just takes the club gently, puts it in the bag, and we all know what the caddy's thinking.
Yeah, I think
do I only get 10% for this shit?
The exchanges between Jordan and Michael Greller are just absolutely brilliant, like the backs and forwards, and you can see that like Jordan's he's like on edge, isn't he? And he's like bouncing around, and then Michael Greller just looks so cool, calm, and collected, and he just lets him spout it all out, and then you can tell he's obviously told him something by the bag. Jordan Spieth then walked out to the tee, had his chat, and then Michael Greller just lets him talk it all out. And then tells him exactly the same thing again that he told him 5 minutes ago. And he does it.
He does it. But that's a true partnership then. I mean, have you ever had a caddy where you've got that relationship where you have to think twice? They just give you the club and tell you the shot to hit.
I did have a guy like that actually. He was a fantastic caddy, and we were kind of the opposite. I was more like calm, like just give me a club, I would hit it. And he was like really, in there and energetic, and like, well, I've got to do this, we've got to do that, got to do that. And I'd just let him go off, and then I'll go like, right, so how far is it again? Yeah, fine, thanks. But it did work though, because I felt like I could do that bit because he would do his job, and you can kind of see that in Greller and Spieth. He needs the calmness of Michael Greller, and Michael Greller probably needs the the edginess of Jordan and Spieth. Yeah, but as you say, it's a true partnership.
It's great to watch, and I hope to get more of that during the Open.
Yeah, hopefully so. Josh?
Tiger, man. Like, as you can tell, I've got his massive boat on my T-shirt right now.
His boat.
for our foreign,
for our
foreign
race,
listeners,
US
all three of you.
His face.
Boat race.
It's boat race. It's Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah.
So for our 3 listeners outside the UK, the picture of Tiger Woods
Yeah.
on
We'll
Josh's
take a
T-shirt.
picture of it and put it on our tweet
get it,
just so
we'll
you
get
know
it
what it
on
looks
story.
like.
But yeah, I can't wait for that, and I'm actually very lucky to be going, and I'm just really looking forward to soaking up the atmosphere and actually getting to play on the Wednesday, not at St Andrews, but next at the Fairmont. So
Have you been to an Open before?
I haven't, no.
So it's your first experience?
Yeah. I can't wait. Obviously, I've gone to the qualifyings and whatever else. I haven't been successful, but yeah, I just looking forward to walking down St Andrews with my clubs on my shoulder down the high street and it being completely normal.
Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah, we're saying spikes, we don't wear spikes anymore. But yeah,
Are
seeing a
you
big
playing? Or are you just going to
leaderboards.
walk around with a golf bag around you?
I'm playing on the Wednesday.
He's going to
Oh,
pretend
okay.
he's going to look like a player.
I'm playing. Yeah, I'm
You
playing
get a
on the
caddy, you can
Wednesday.
get Marco Greller to come and caddy.
It's one way to sneak in, just walk up confidently and then just
yeah.
let you in. Oh, he looks like a golfer.
I actually used to do that at PGA at Wentworth. I wasn't playing. I had my player's badge with the parking, so you could just sort of like show it to the security guard and just park wherever you wanted. That was a good one. That one.
I remember I did that in 2000. The qualifying used to be like on the Sunday, Monday. Or no, it was a Saturday, Sunday. And we'd gone there, not qualified, but on the Sunday, just because my dad was with me, I had my tour bag. We just went up to St Andrews, and my coach was on the range, and he kind of said, "Oh, we might be able to hit some balls." I remember just if you just look like a golfer, dress like a golfer, big bag, caddy, and just bowl on a Sunday, we got on. I don't know if it'll be very different now, but hopefully next year there'll be a load of people turn up with tour bags.
Yeah.
Old Ben Hogan tour bags.
Brilliant.
That are dug out the garage. But yeah, it's seeing the big yellow leaderboards around 18.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And just I really enjoy watching the players prepare, and that's I'm actually coming home on the Friday, but like warming up on the range, I actually enjoy sitting on the range behind them and watching what they do. As a player myself, I just find that really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I think the weather's going to be good as well, which is really cool. I played in 2010. We had pretty good weather for most of the week, but the second round was delayed because there was like 50-mile-per-hour winds, which can happen at St Andrews for most of it. But actually, funnily enough, I think it's one course which you can kind of get it round in the wind because it's quite open. You would play the St Andrews links there.
St.
You probably
Andrews
played
links,
some shocking conditions at St Andrews at times.
On the wrong side of the draw, actually, to be honest. Thought I was like 3 shots inside the cut, and then all of a sudden I had some lunch, looked out the window, and it was sunny, and then I was driving home.
That is links golf, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what was it? Wet? Was it windy?
It was windy and showers, to be honest, in the morning, and then it sort of just blew over in the afternoon, and it calmed down.
Because it's an interesting course. Because when people first go there, they don't like St Andrews very much. Because there's not much to see, is there?
No. But for me, as a golf course, I loved it because it was wide. I've never really played a wide links course
anywhere.
So I was like, this is
Even you
brilliant.
couldn't hit it out of bounds on that course.
I was buzzing. I was
Big Nige
absolutely-
handing it out.
He's giving it. But yeah, I loved it.
It's a really interesting flow, for anyone watching this week, you can't get that first tee shot, which is so dramatic. So obviously the easiest tee shot in major championship golf ever and ever will be. So you have that part of it, and in all the setting and the history that there is. And then you kind of get holes 2 and 3, are pretty straightforward, aren't they? Shortish par 4s. And then you kind of roll around to the fifth. Fifth, you like your first birdie chance.
Yeah.
Quite, with a 100-yard green.
Yeah.
It depends. So it's funny. You can get there middle of the fairway, and you look at the book, and you go, "Oh, I've got 180 to the front. That's fine. That's probably like a 6 iron." And you go, "Oh, that's odd. I've got 260 to the pin."
Yeah. I remember that. I do remember that now. Yeah, that's a good one. That.
And then you get a couple of tricky-ish sort of holes, and then it's. I think St Andrews is the middle of the course. You need to take advantage of like 9, 10, 11, 12. And then kind of into 14, that's where all the birdies are.
Yeah. And it also hitting down the right sides of the fairways, isn't it? Because if sometimes if you're going too far left, I actually didn't know this until after I played and someone was talking to me about it, and it kind of made sense. But it was something the way the greens sit to the fairway, and you can be really safe and go up the left-hand side. Or if you stay near the trouble down the right-hand side of the fairway. It gives you a much
Kind
better
of
angle
back into the slope on the green, aren't you? Where if you come from the left, you hit into a down slope all the time.
Yeah. And it's there's a few common denominators about on a few of the holes.
And then you turn back, don't you? And then when you get to like kind of 16, you know, you got a couple of real tricky holes coming in out of bounds down the right on 16, and then 17 is, you know, can really make or break your round. And, you know, that's so dramatic from the tee shot, the approach shot, to then being up around the green.
I actually, on the 17th, I actually hit that, you know, the shed bit that comes out of the hotel in the practice round for the St Andrews Links.
You not tee it up?
No, I just wanted. I was having a laugh. I can't remember. I think I was playing with Southgate, Matt Southgate, who won, and we was hitting these stingers, and I thought I would just clear it in time, and I absolutely annihilated it.
In a practice round or in a tournament?
In a practice round.
Oh, gotta say.
Yeah.
Have you ever hit it in a hotel?
No.
Nige, have you hit it in a hotel?
No, I didn't hit. I only played it once, but I didn't manage to get to the hotel.
No, but we chatted about your 18th.
We've done the 18.
Yeah,
Everyone knows about the 18. Yeah. Actually, one of the guys I played with was trying to correct me how that 18th went. Evidently, the ball bounced back onto the fairway, he said, but I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Doris is following him on Twitter now.
Yeah.
She probably wants to get me sue me for.
James, you've not played St Andrews, have you?
No, I've played the. There's like a St Andrews
on the simulator,
the St Andrews Boys Links or something, which is all played at the Fairmont. So
up the hill.
I've played that, but I've not played in the.
Is it somewhere you want to play?
Yeah, I've been in the ballot twice. I really want to play with my dad actually. So
how come you've not played there?
I think we've just put our names down and just not got through or whatever. But yeah, no, it's something I probably want to do with him. It's his birthday in a couple of weeks as well. So
yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Because he hit left because you got that little blocky shot. So you're good at St Andrews. You can just block it.
I'd love to see you play 18 with that pin there. You'd be up for going for the green in one.
Just swooping it.
Doris will get the shots down.
18 be fine. You can lose it left. There's this way loads of room left. So
it's perfect for you. That is.
Yeah, no, he's got that little high cut. It'll be all right.
So, who's everyone's picks for this week? Let's start with Josh. Who's your picks? Actually, no, Nigel, you wanted to do.
Well, should we have a quick roundup? We had some picks last week, actually. We were really controversial and went with a big mix of Fitzpatrick across the board. And so I went and put £5 per person on Fitzpatrick on Betfair. I think we got 22 to 1.
Did you do the free £5 bets or one £15 bet?
I did one £15 bet. You're just like auditing my betting skills. What are you doing?
I think if we'd probably picked different people, it would
back in your corner.
But, yeah.
Get back in the ballot for St Andrews, you loser.
Anyway, back to St Andrews.
And obviously, I mean, I think by watching him teeing off on the fourth round, we sort of realised that we weren't going to be winning that probably. Yeah, that was a bit of a shame. He didn't really come out. We were looking for, but so what I thought we'd do is every time we make a bet, I'll actually go away and put £5. We'll do 2 bets. I think for the Open, we'll do a win and then an each way bet.
Yeah,
I'll place them, and then we can just keep a tally on how we're doing. Who is the true punter? Will TBTC be up, or will Betfair be the winner?
And the proceed, any profits will go. We'll nominate a charity at the end of the season.
What, this famous charity you keep getting us to give money to that we don't know if it exists?
An actual real one. Yeah.
So we're going to have to come up with the name of that charity at the end of for the next podcast.
Then you'll see me audit. I'll be checking that company's house.
Exactly. Charity registered number JA.
So let's do it then. Let's get a winner.
Yep.
And then a nice each way bet. You don't have to. Each way bet doesn't have to be crazy, but I think there's a couple of good choices there. So
yeah.
Do you want me to start?
Go for it.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to go with Spieth as my winner. I just really like him to play. I bet by my heart. I don't bet by the stats. I mean, he's playing not bad, and he's just got to. I just pray his caddy gets him in the range and gets him under control, and then he'll burn it up. And then I look down the field and I see Fleetwood at 46 to 1, and it's probably not a big enough outsider, but I think he's got a decent. He played well, I think, on the last round. I think he was like 4 under yesterday.
He was. He's not played that well for a while, but when it really came down to it yesterday, his game
moved.
was pretty sharp.
Yeah, and so I was thinking, maybe. Yeah, I think that is probably going to be my outsider bet. I'm not going to get massive odds unless he wins, obviously. But I do think there's a chance of winning. I was thinking maybe of Fleetwood as my win bet, but I'm going to go Fleetwood as my not so great outsider. But I think
what's the odds?
I think I might. He's 45 to 1 at the moment on Betfair.
Okay.
Okay, so Spieth and Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, I think they're my two.
Not massive hitters, but very good ball strikers. Okay, I like it. Go on then, Josh.
I'm going to go Patrick Cantley for the win, just purely because the greens are so
Patty
big.
ice.
And
I like that bet.
And he is very good at putting, and especially long putts. I just love his and he's got a solid base with his putting if the wind picks up as well.
I think he's got such a good putting stroke.
It's unbelievable.
A long backswing and then just drops the head on the ball.
It's
So
great.
33-1 there, Josh. Good.
Yeah, and then that's for the win. And then my each way, as we know, knowing quite well, he's been playing really well. Is Jordan Smith, and I know he's it'll be quite a big number, but I like it for an each way bet.
80-1, Jordan Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, decent shout. You would have played amateur golf with Jordan Smith, right?
Yeah, played a lot of golf with Jordan growing up. He's just such a solid player.
Yeah, he's a really good ball striker, isn't he?
Yeah, very good. Like one of my pals was caddying for me, and we were playing in the first stage of European Tour qualifying, and he was just playing so solid. And I remember saying to him,
I played with him the first 2 rounds at Frilford.
So I played with him in the
He was up there in the hunt and he missed everything.
Yeah.
For 2 days, which kind of was a kind of testament to how good he is tee to green.
Yeah, so I must literally, it was that week I played with him in the last 2 or the last round, and I remember saying he will get to. Honestly, he will get to the top.
He will get to the next stage.
Top 50.
When he's still in the last.
I said
5 shots inside the
top
number.
50 in the next 4 years is what I'm pretty sure I said, and he did get to top 50. I remember he played it. Yeah,
he slowed up a little bit, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did. But it looks like he's coming back a bit now, which is good to see. Nice.
James.
My win bet is Rory. I think we spoke about him last week. I've not really changed off of that. I think he's got a great chance.
Do you not think that the occasion will be too big for him?
No, I don't actually. I think he's taken a week off.
I think he's different now.
I think a lot of people put him under pressure and a massive onus, and where there's this whole demeanour around, Rory's lost his game, and I think he'd had like exceptional finishes in Sawgrass and was still maintaining. I don't think he's had that period where people think he's really fallen off the horse and he's like gone way down in the rankings, like to the 30th. He's always been in and around the top 10, even when he's been playing badly. Now he's come back to form. He's number 2 in the world. He's definitely playing as if he thinks he can win every week again, I think. He's obviously gone and socialised and caught some links golf with Tiger this week. I just think he's probably really in a right frame of mind to go in and win a major championship, especially with some pretty high-profile PGA Tour wins as well this season. So,
what's the wind looking like this week?
That's what I was literally about to say. I think it all depends on the wind for Rory.
Well,
if it's calm, he's mustard. Yeah. If it's a bit windy, then he's.
And I was gonna mention that. Funnily enough, it's all well and good picking people now on a beautiful Monday morning, but to see the draw come out later in the week, I probably want to change my mind on Wednesday night if I'm looking at the local weather conditions. But just based on where we're at now, and I don't think that saying you know him, you've grown up with him. He's got more shots in his locker. He does what he's good at, right? And he does it really well. So, and my each way shot is 175-1. Justin Harding. I think he's been playing really well for a long time. Actually, he's still in the top 20 on the Order of Merit on the DP World Tour, and he obviously hasn't been there for a few weeks because he's moved over to live. He's just been super solid, and I think. He was there or thereabouts, and bearing in mind it pays to 12 places, I just think he's the kind of person who creep in.
Great putter as well, isn't he?
Yeah, 7th to 12th. Is he broom handling?
Broom handling.
Here we go. I've got to do my weekly sweep, so...
Little hand movements.
Podcast bingo. James has done his hand movements. Ding, 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 ding.
Is he a broom handle, Ted?
Zane has mentioned he played at St Andrews.
Yeah.
He is.
I think he's got a really good all-round game. He's played well at Renaissance. I think he's been in good form for a long time. I think 175-1's good money.
Nice. That's good. That's a solid pick, actually, Justin Harding. Because not many people kind of think of him because he's a bit under the radar, really, isn't he?
I got form out of eye in this. Maronk, Kitayama finished second last week. He was one of my ones to watch. So, just saying.
Who did you call this week?
Kitayama.
All right. I thought it was Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, but I said him a couple of weeks ago. I said he's one to watch.
Enough names, it works out.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, James. Name them. There's another 100 golfers to go. Quick.
Don't you bet on every square on roulette? It's when you get green, you get fur.
Anyway, with my experience of playing at St Andrews so much in the past, and what I know about that place, I'm going to agree with Nige and go Jordan Spieth. I just think he's kind of been on his way for a little while now. Game's getting sharper and sharper. He did well at St Andrews before. I think that no matter the conditions, I think he's got the game for it. He can kind of get away with the odd wayward drive, which has been better. So that's a pretty straightforward one, really. And then, I mean, do we have to go real outsider? Because my other pick was Bryson, just because I think that Bryson can just smash it around that golf course. He's worked on his wedge play.
Well, Bryson's more of an outsider than Nige's one, so
that's allowed, is it?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, that's allowed. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go Bryson. Yeah, I just think there's a few holes. I reckon we might see a couple of greens driven that we've never seen driven before, if the wind is in the right direction.
But they might not be the right greens.
Well, there's not many greens there, so long as he hits it on one of them, he's got a decent chance.
as long as
he?
it's not on the Fairmont.
Yeah. I mean that's going to.
Pass
He's
the
going to be
commentary
mine.
over to you then, James.
He's going to be mine. I mean,
We've played here.
I think like last year he hit the ball amazingly off the tee, but he was like missing greens from like 40, 50 yards at St George's. I think he took that to heart, and then on the social media, he's clearly been working his wedge play quite a lot. So Nasca, I'm going to be looking out for him this week. Is there any like real like? I mean,
You think all the qualifiers we know? Anyone you think's going to do well?
I was going to say.
Know a few.
I mean, I don't know if he'll do well or not. Like you know,
Yeah.
they've been out of the guys that I like. Rob Dinwiddie, he's not competed full time for a long time, but it's good to see him get
It'd
in.
be great to see him do well, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't Wids get in RSG as well?
No, he has played an Open before. He played the US Open, but yeah, he didn't play at RSG. And John Parry, he got another one.
Marco Penge.
Yeah, who else? We got? Oh yeah, Marco Penn. See, he could do quite well.
He could, yeah.
Yeah.
Bomber.
He's at Miles, doesn't he? He plays St Andrews loads.
Probably a
And
special
really good
mention
form.
to another one of the players that Nigel doesn't know he sponsors, Sam Bairstow.
I love Sam.
Good luck to Sam.
How many players have you got in the field this week? How many players has Nigel got in the field this week?
Is Callum in the field? Danny's definitely playing. Is Callum playing?
Danny Willett's in. Sam Bairstow.
Yeah,
It's probably 3, 4. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, you know I'm not in charge of sponsorship. That's JLT's department. It depends who he's drinking with at the weekend.
Yeah.
That's how
Well, you're a
that's how that
golfer.
goes.
Here's some money. That's normally his opening gambit. Yeah.
So let's have a little bit of Tiger chat.
Richard Mansell's in the field.
Let's have a little bit of Tiger chat. So he obviously played the JP McManus Pro-Am. Did anybody watch any of that? I saw a few shots.
Yeah.
Is it televised? I was watching bits on.
They had two
On Twitter.
days televised, yeah.
Where is it on?
On Sky Sports.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, I don't have Sky Sports, which
Should have told you. There we
doesn't
go.
help.
Haven't got Sky Sports. You have about $100 billion. You don't have Sky Sports. You're not one of these fire stick nudges, are you? Little $100 in the back of the Amazon box.
That's where he likes to live. It's free on YouTube.
I don't understand the JP McManus being a non-pro golfer like you guys. I mean, they get the best golfers there, and it's like a sort of private little club, isn't it?
Well, you know what I actually found out this week, which I was amazed at? None of the players get paid to go.
But I just
Can't believe the field they get and nobody gets paid
They
to be
all
there.
go there for charity. There must be something going on the side. There's a live jet hidden in the background somewhere.
I think they must get
JP
free
The JP
holidays
jet.
at Sandy Lane in Barbados, but I think there's no actual cash.
They're all put into a
So they get
syndicate for one of
goodie
his
bags, get
horses.
watches, and they get a lovely week and there's other little bits.
That's
But
unbelievable.
It's the
there's
Artful
no
Dodger.
cash. No cash changes hands.
Officially.
Yeah, there's a little sign saying don't ask for any cash.
A little.
There's a little note in one of them said whatever you do this week, don't ask for cash.
Tap your contactless here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I can't-
That's amazing. We obviously has built up an event which the pros love to go along for. There must be an amazing dinner
mean,
or something going on.
On a side note, I mean, obviously the crowds there were like 3-4 people deep, so there's a pretty solid crowd.
I think that's Ireland, and whenever you go to a Euro Pro in Ireland, and the crowds are
which is awesome.
too deep. So we got Tiger there. 3-4 is like normal, isn't it?
But to coin some more of your golf niceties that
that's a nice
you
term.
get to do that no one else does, you play the Queenwood Cup, which is very much. I thought that was the UK's equivalent to the Irish version of it. And that's obviously very much behind closed doors, right? There's no spectators or anything there.
There's no chance that Queen would have let anybody in to go and
Yeah.
watch that.
So it's
They better let the guest pros in.
so I thought the JP McManus was equivalent to that. I thought it was a very private event. Have they just opened it up recently, or is this not a new thing?
I don't think it's overly private. The
It's on
Queenwood
Sky
Cup's-
Sports. That's not very private.
No,
Yeah.
but that is new, definitely.
It's newly televised. Yeah, it's definitely newly televised. But yeah, Ireland's just that way about golf. It's just a bit more open. And Queenwood, where they had the Queenwood Cup, is a real private establishment. Whereas in Ireland, there's not so many places like that. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see all the players knocking about and.
But they're chatting to the crowd. Tiger's asking for club selection choices on one of the tees, I think, remember. and it just looks like it's fun.
It looks good fun. Did you see Scotty Scheffler
The shank.
hit the shank?
Yeah. And the poor guy filming it, the ball went over his camera.
Over his head.
I was like, I think I tweeted it. I think that's the first time I've ever seen the world ranked #1 golfer do my most common golf shot.
Yeah, that was brilliant. It's good to see though, isn't it? It's good to see in a relaxed environment that the world #1 player hits a terrible golf shot.
And he took it really well.
But that's why I suspect the lunch is pretty heavy.
Yeah, it must be.
Because Jordan Spieth picked his ball up at one point, forgetting that he was actually playing in a golf competition.
And you know what? Zane Scotland won it.
He did.
Did he
He got
actually?
disqualified because he picked his ball up.
Oh my god!
Because I don't think he was in it because I think it's the best 2 scores from each 4-ball
Right.
in the group competition, and he wasn't in a shout there, so he picked his ball up and so got disqualified.
And Zed, you got the celebration of champions today at St Andrews.
Yeah. So just finishing up on that Tiger chat. So we had Mark Raven, who's part of the Bear Tiger Club. He got to caddy for Phil Jansen, who played with
Tiger. Any chat?
And Mark got on telly. We were getting all sorts of pictures coming through. Have you seen those?
Did he brush his hair, or did he just go out there
He
with
had his
that?
TBTC hat on.
Did he?
Yeah,
Donning it.
He had the Bear Tiger hat on. I think there was a scene of him holding Tiger's putter at some point.
Yeah, he looked like he was reading putts for him. He was reading putts for Tiger. So
That's big.
Yeah, that's massive. And then you could see he was walking off the green. He went, "All right, come on then, Tiger. Let me have a look at that putter." That's what it looked like in the video. And then he took it off him, and you can just see he was like holding it. And
Tutter's Piker group gave him COVID.
Yeah, and then so we were hoping to have him come and talk to us about it, about the experience, but unfortunately he's been struck down with COVID. So
yeah,
that was a bit.
But we've checked in on him. He's fine. He's stable. He's happy. He's sending his best wishes.
More importantly, we just hope he didn't give this Tiger. I want to see a Tiger this week.
yeah, wow.
But yeah, so we'll have a chat about that next week. That would be good fun. But yeah, I heard that the chat is that Tiger was kind of in a bit of a bad way. He was kind of like at dinner in the evenings, he was having to be helped out and so forth. It's not looking good. I mean, he's hobbling around a little bit.
Oh wow.
And there's, it's nowhere near confirmed, but there's talks that this could be one of his last Open Championships. He could be retiring on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's not confirmed, but that's just through the grapevine from what people said at the event. That's the murmurings coming through.
I think I saw some tweets yesterday about he was playing again Ballybunion, I think, and there was chat about his mobility not looking as good as
Nige, we watched him at the Masters, didn't we? And we was surprised how he was going to walk up some of them fairways.
That is it. You know, he watched him at the Masters. He was
week,
popping pills every 30 minutes, and the fact that he got out on that course and shot well,
was unbelievable.
Was amazing.
I said to you, Nigel, on that practice, I was going, blimey, that pill looks like a chicken nugget. It was humongous. That painkiller was humongous.
If Tiger's camp are listening in, one recommendation I would do is they should go and have a look and find out what Mick Jagger's routine is. Because I saw the Stones last Sunday in Hyde Park, and that guy's nearly 80, and he's running around like he's an 18. He'd outrun me with a 100-meter dash, that guy. Hour and a half on stage, jumping around, singing. Whatever he does, or that group, in fact, they're all, given what their history is meant to be like on the older, happy powders and stuff. They are phenomenal.
So what about his chances? So he's going to be hobbling around, but what about his golf?
I think it'd be flatter. I think he's got the shots to be able to saw it off and stuff like that. I think we spoke about it before. I definitely think he'll make the weekend. I think his game's always been good enough to do that. I know he doesn't enter tournaments, he doesn't think he can win. And no doubt if he gets in the running and he gets the right side of the draw, he can probably find another gear of adrenaline that he didn't even know he had, let alone the field.
He just needs to get a sniff, doesn't he? He needs to get a sniff of being in contention and having a chance. If he gets that, I just think he's just going to hit the turbo button.
But I think the scoring will, if the conditions are favourable, like to someone like, if Rory could win, they'd probably be too low for someone like Tiger to win. You need to find a middle ground, don't you?
I know.
He's such a good iron player, isn't he?
Yeah.
That he can just he's got picking shots off, shaping them into some of those pin positions, which kind of St Andrews kind of protected in the Open by the pin positions rather than rough and so forth.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to hit loads of drivers either, does he? Really?
No, he's the man that went round St Andrews without hitting any bunkers.
Yeah.
They've taken the scoring record off him now, haven't they? Who beat him last time? We should know this.
I know what the course record is.
He took it off Nick Faldo, didn't he? What's the course record, James?
61, Ross Fisher.
Here we go. In the
2017. Was it in the Dunhill?
Dunhill links. That's correct.
Good work.
Cheers.
Yeah, but it is interesting. I mean, if he was to retire on Sunday, is it a bit out of order that he's going to make the announcement on Sunday? if he doesn't win, and then take everyone's just going to be talking about Tiger retiring and not worried about,
Do you think he'd do that?
I think he'd wait. I think he'd let the winner get the glory for maybe Monday and announce it.
I think
later
when he
on
announces
the
though, he's going to take the highlights off of everything in world sport. It's going to be. I mean, he is an icon of his game. He's a generational god. So whatever.
Like Thor.
Yeah, absolutely. We're demigod of golf. Yeah, 4 yields a hammer, he yields a 2-iron.
That no one else can pick up.
Yeah. But so whatever happens, he's going to put golf on its back a little bit for that period of time, isn't it? I mean, that is going to be such a drawn out retirement, and a thank you to the game and things like that. But
yeah,
but I think that you probably prefer that than every time there's a major we start talking about him and then he limps around and barely makes the cut. If he makes the cut, you want to.
I don't think he will.
I want to leave on a high. You don't think he would retire early? You think he'd battle on?
Announce it. Yeah, I think he is.
Listen, I think it's a long shot that he is going to announce it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, how long has it been since his injury now?
A long time, isn't it? He's still in a bad way. What, over 2 years?
Over 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but how many surgeries can you go through? There's only, I mean, he is superhuman. There's only so much the body can take, isn't there? To come back and win like he did last time was just mental, really. And then win a major championship as well as 2 further PGA Tour titles. So, yeah, obviously he's got all these records in his sight and stuff, but you and I have both watched all the documentaries and things like that have been covered of him. He has just hammered his own body by his own right as well, off course, hasn't he? All the army training and military stuff, and going like deep down into 72-day convoys with a bag over his head, being waterboarded and stuff like that. It's like you've got a tee off time in 3 days. It's Steve Williams, just wants to know where you are, So
I'm on the putting green. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm just getting waterboarded, mate. In some desert.
I haven't told him anything.
Yeah. But so yeah. I mean, it'd be such a celebrated career.
Well, let's hope I hope that he doesn't retire and he gets fit again. But we also don't want to see him just rolled out, hobbling around a golf course every 4 times a year either. So, do
you think when he retires, Ed, he will? It's not like he's retiring from the PGA Tour. It's like he's retiring from playing professional golf as an athlete. He's not going to go and play. He's not going to really go and play seniors and stuff like that, is he?
I just think if he can't play majors, I think if he doesn't think he can win majors, I think he'll stop playing.
Yeah,
I think that would be why he's got no interest in going to the Barbasol and cutting about those guys.
Yeah.
At all. He might as well stay,
he's just thinking 18, he's thinking 19,
play a money game. Yeah. I mean, I think once he realises he can't win a major, I think he'll genuinely stop. That's not for him, is it?
Well, he was a billionaire before his divorce, which then cut him in half, and now he's a billionaire through golf again. I think very recently announced.
I think he's right for cash. I think he'll get by.
I think he can make $900 million from Live. So yeah, he's
make the ends meet. So where is everybody watching the Open from, James? Where are you going to watch it this week?
Well, I'm going to follow it actually. I will say this, my dad's been quite unwell recently, so I am looking forward to spending Sunday with him. He's coming to spend Sunday here, and we'll watch the Open together with a barbecue, which I'm really looking forward to. So at home here in Surrey with the old man on Sunday which is a couple of days for his birthday. So very much looking forward to that.
Nige?
Check the diary out. I am in London, so I'll be watching it on TV.
At home.
Home Alone? Probably Home Alone. I don't know.
Bottle of red?
Well, to start with, probably start off with the Pimm's given the weather. So it's Pimm's moving into rosé. Then maybe when it gets to the dinner time, red for the final few holes.
No transfusions, Nige.
No, that's on course. That's when you need the energy to swing the club. Don't need that at home.
Maybe that's what Tiger needs. Could be that.
A few transfusions.
It's interesting. Everyone's got their processes, but I feel like, Nige, you've really got that process down.
He knew what he was
tried and tested, and it's experience, and that's how it all plays out. Some of us got a pre-shot routine of like visualizing the shot first and that sort of stuff. And you've
number one rule for me is the minute I start thinking about the shot, I've already lost it. You've just got to go up.
You get your
Josh
pims.
has been trying to help me with my chipping, and you've seen me. If I'm over the ball more than 2 seconds, I'm in trouble.
Knees go.
Yeah, you got the process for how you're going to watch the Open. If we could somehow get that process into how you're going to approach your golf, that would help.
Josh is working on it, aren't we?
Yeah, we're working on it, mate. We'll get there. Where
are you watching it, J-Dub?
So I'm watching the build-up live from St Andrews, which I can't wait for, and then I'm going to try and stay there for as long as I can, for as long as Kate would let me, because I've got nothing really to come back for. So might try and drag it out, and it's your birthday, I believe, Zed, on the Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Is
Working on Sunday, yeah. Fortunately, unfortunately, however you look at it. I'm actually a bit like, I'm going to be obviously working, doing the Encore commentary, but I think watching the Open is like, it's amazing because you get to come in and the golf is on TV all day. You switch your telly on, you sit there and it's on. I just think
our
it's
time zone
brilliant.
as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's so good.
You're not the same day as Sir Nick, are you? Is he the day after you? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a day after.
It's a good week for birthdays. Big 4-0 Zed.
Yeah, and your old man.
And my old man on Wednesday, yeah.
And then
22nd
as well.
Yeah, 22nd, yeah.
Big 40, is it? And you're going to be on the golf course.
Big 40, yeah, going to be on the golf course. That's right. Yeah,
We've got a big event we're building up to now, haven't we? Just a month to go. Old Head.
yeah. We'll bring that one. And should we do a full rundown on that one? Nige, can you make that? Old Head. End of August.
Always ready for some. Oh, is it not the bank holiday weekend? Is it?
James?
It's the Wednesday to the Saturday of the last week in August, 24th to the 27th.
I'll be at Turnberry.
Oh,
Shocking.
Jump on the chopper though.
Drink it red.
Jump on the chopper.
Some boy.
damn boy, it's a recession going on.
You know what? I haven't played Old Head though. It's on my to-do list, and we're trying to organise this summer to get, and the just couldn't get a tea time.
Well, we've got
If you
4.
nip over for a day, we've got a tea time. We'll chat about that a
Don't
bit later.
throw those comments around lightly, boys.
You'd actually be Zane's partner in the round 1 4 balls as well, because he is playing with AN on.
Yeah, a wild card, basically. You could be the wild card. It might be TBTC.
Well, that makes it more
Big
He
appealing.
night.
wants your 12.2 shots. You probably get about 19 at Old Head off the tips.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, so that's our open roundup. We've got a couple of questions from some of the listeners who we did actually have listeners. Can you amazingly the first couple of pods? Amazing. I'm so really pumped about it. This from Rob Scott. This is quite an interesting one for everybody. It says, when you've been playing bad for a while, how do you turn things around? Who wants to take the floor on that one?
I'm playing bad at the moment, so I'm really interested by the answers here.
Get new clubs.
Okay. So Josh White, one of our resident coaches, expert coaches, he's just steamed in there and just buy a new set.
Nah. What I like to do if I'm playing bad, well, when I'm playing well, is I like to write notes. So I write notes when I'm playing well, what I'm doing. So then when it comes to playing bad, I'll look back at the notes and that will give me there'll be something in there that I can take from them that will spark something up again.
Yeah, because normally, if you do make notes and you go back across them, you make notes every week or I used to do it for every tournament round.
Yeah.
They almost become a bit samey, don't they? Because the same thing works over and over.
Yeah.
And then when you drift off, you just get away from really simple things.
Yeah, you're doing something different.
Yeah, the amount of times when someone says to you, what were you doing when you played well? I was doing this, and this. And they say, you're doing that now? And you go, no. And they say, why not? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then that's normally a good reminder to then you start doing those things and you start to get into a bit back into
and
a bit of form.
it's normally when you're playing bad that you keep taking notes. You go to a lesson or you do something else and then you're writing stuff down in a bit of a panic. But when you're playing well, you just you don't really, because you're just in the flow. So it's a good time to do it for sure.
Nice. Do you have any of your take from your...
Well, I've been playing bad for what I would regard as bad for a long time. My main problem being that I wasn't playing enough. But recently we've been playing a bit more, and the way I've sort of trying to focus is just picking one thing at a time to focus on. So, I don't want to mess around with my overall swing because I think you need a lot of spare time to be doing something like that and changing that. But I'm focusing more on the chipping, and after I sort of get a little bit more comfortable with the chipping, I think my putting will become a bit more of an area I need to focus on. So right now, just picking something. I say small like chipping. I've been trying to learn how to chip but also to find someone who actually can break it down for you and give you, I'm 12. I look at my swing. I find it hard to work out exactly what's not right, but we're playing with you guys. You spot small little things which all help. And again, write them down. And the key thing for me is the drills you've given me, some small drills where you've got to go away and just work on it. And I can feel my chipping is slowly getting better, but it's not getting better as quick as it could because I haven't really spent much time doing the practice and the drills that
You say you've been playing bad for a while, Nige. At Sawgrass, how many points did you get that day?
Oh, yeah, just a sneaky 41.
40. There you go. It's in there, guys.
It is in there.
It's in there.
But the first round Sawgrass, I think it was 14.
We won't talk about that one.
A bit of a contrast. Yeah, it is interesting. I think if you just kind of get back to some, say basics, but basics for you. Everyone has their different ones, don't they? And there's a drill that you can just do and find a bit of comfort in that. But I think But then actually preceding all that is actually getting a good diagnosis of what is actually going wrong.
Yeah.
Because it gets so emotional, golf, doesn't it? You have a bad score and you go, that's it, I can't play. And then when you actually, if you start to write down different areas of your game and mark them out of 10, you can normally find one piece. And then that kind of takes the emotion away from, or the negative emotion away from the rest of the game. You think, actually, I'm actually okay at driving the ball and my chipping's okay, my putting is okay. It's actually my iron play I need to work on. So then it becomes a manageable task. So one more question, and we'll direct this more at James. James is you scratch +1?
Yeah.
One of those two. But you don't play that often. So it's quite, but you seem to be able to keep a good level of golf. I've been playing a bit more recently, played a couple of times in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Games coming around a bit.
It feels like it's maybe going in the right direction.
Those are the club faces. So how do you get around the golf course that doesn't suit your eye off the tee, which then forces the player into steering it?
You've got 14 options in the bag, so use all your bag. I think one of the best things I've picked up from playing with you and Josh over so many years now is actually you've got loads of options in the top of the bag, and if you've got a book or you know the hole or you don't know the hole, if you don't know the golf course, you should definitely have a book, or at least be asking your playing partners, give me a bit of a synopsis about the hole, and normally pick a club to play to the wider parts of the fairways, just give myself the best chance to hit it on cut grass.
Nice. And you're very much like a drawer. So if you get like a tee shot, do you move around the tee or that sort of stuff?
Yeah. So if I've got a hole that you definitely need to shape the ball right to left, just try and make it as wide as possible. So get as far right of the tee box, and I can start it on as left angle as possible, just to always hit a stock shot or trust a shot, or just for comical value for you and Josh, I'll try and hit a fade and then just hit pull right, double cross it, and right. Cool.
Look at the club and blame the club.
Has anyone got a Sharpie? I need to mark up a new ball. So, just look at the face. Where'd that come from? But yeah, no, obviously utilise as much of the room on the tee box as possible. And if it was a shot that just didn't fancy my eye, I would just club down and try and take some curve out.
Hit that famous 5-wood that you've got. It just goes straight every time.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's a good little go-to club, that, isn't it?
Is at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone in there. Okay, one more, actually. It's quite interesting. Mental preparation before playing. How do you curb the doubt and negativity? I mean, I think everybody goes through this before the round, and especially if there's more pressure. It doesn't matter who you are, you do have doubts, and they do creep in. I think, and again, it comes back to just doing something which is manageable and trying to drop the ego and get away from what everyone else thinks you should do and what you did when you played your very best golf. Just trying to, I always think when you get on the tee box, for instance, because I always found like the tee game is my part. If I'm hitting half decent off the tee, I can play. And I kind of pick like if I have a 45-yard gap, then I can hit a driver. And if it's less than that, then I would hit less club. And I kind of go in there with a bit of a mindset of, if I've got a 45-yard gap and I miss that, it doesn't matter, it's a bad swing, because everyone has bad swings. But as it gets tighter, just hit less club. And it becomes manageable, and also just accept that you're going to hit a few bad shots. That's because that's such a massive worry. And once you get away from the first 2 or 3 holes and find a rhythm, you're normally okay. I mean, do you guys have any sort of mental ways of preparing?
Alcohol.
You don't drink before you play.
No.
He's giving it all the big one. Nice does that. Come on, what do you do, James? Go on.
No, I talk to Josh about this a lot, because
do you call him? Go, Josh, I'm really nervous. How do I prepare?
Yeah, and he just says,
why have you not text back?
Yeah, just don't have a heads off on the second hole, mate. Yeah, no, and Josh always says the same thing, really. Just play one shot at a time. Just see a shot at a time, and it's brilliant with the performance stuff. So yeah, it just comes down to executing one shot at a time. And he'll turn around and say something to you like, I shot 9 under the other day and I ate 6 bad shots.
And that doesn't help at all.
What? But it does, because when you flip it on that, it's like it's actually, you can get a bad shot to work, can't you? You just got to go and find a way of hitting 3 good shots, and then you make par, and then you move on, and that scores in the bag. So yeah, just one shot at a time, play to your strengths, and just move on and try not to have a head off.
I think, remember from the Bob Rotella book, like having a conservative strategy but a cocky swing. I think that's always really
very
good. Even if you've got a club right down to a 4 or 5 iron.
Yeah.
And be able to actually swing confidently.
But I think it comes back to like what we were saying, doing something that you've always done, like just sticking to that. Like with your routines, don't do something different. Like as soon as you try and do something different because you think the situation's bigger or something like that, that's when the alarm bells start to ring and they make you feel uncomfortable. But if you just do what you normally do, get up at the same time, have the same breakfast, and whatever else. And then even down to that, you just feel comfortable because it's just another normal day. That for me is...
Like there's some gold there from Josh White. There we go. That's how he does it.
You're welcome.
That's how he does what he does. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming on. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And, we'll give a nice little open roundup next week. Looking forward to it. Cheers, boys.
Happy birthday,
Cheers,
Zane.
Ed. Yeah, have a good one.
Happy birthday.
Bye.